Hi there, Sandra with Rooster Thrift. Today we are at the Goodwill of Mukwonago. We have been here for a little bit, and this is always a challenging Goodwill because the managers, while having a lovely organized store, do understand that there are resellers out there and do understand the value of vintage items, and so they do price up higher than a lot of other Goodwills. So the challenge is, can we find a bargain anyway? Let's get in there and let's find out. Let's hit it. I usually start with the tchotchkes at this store, and I am doing a scan to see what they have and look for something unusual to catch my eye. Lots of figurines here. The first thing I want to look at is this bird. I was hoping it might be stone. I think it's ceramic. There's a cute little pig. Back here is a southwestern style bell. And then this little guy. Now, I'm not sure what it is with those holes. It could be an incense burner. It could be a hat pin holder. It looks like it's got a bit of age. There is some damage on the gilding, but I decide I'm going to put that in my cart and think about it for a bit. Going back to the shelves, I like this ghost, this little ceramic ghost. I just like his style. That pose is kind of cute, kind of fun. We've got some hobbyist deer here. These are really cute, nicely done. I noticed this dog back here, this hand-painted dog. It's on a sort of a free-form piece of ceramic. And I'm not really sure if it has a function other than decor, but I move along. On this shelf here, I notice this box. Pull it out to take a closer look. It is just a decorative box. I like the almost Victorian kind of look to it. The tulips with the butterflies and the kind of muted colors is pretty. It's got the magnetic closure and a bow, and I think I might be able to sell that box to someone. Down here is a very heavy decorative horse. It's metal and it's on a stand, and I thought it was pretty nice. I think if it were, the painting didn't strike me as very fine. If it were a little nicer in painting, I might have picked it up. More tchotchkes here. We've got a ceramic Halloween house. It's a votive holder, and it's got a lot of details. Pretty cute. Here we have a skier. And here we have what I thought was a globe mug. And it turns out to be a stein. I do look it up later, but at this point I'm just trying to figure it out. $6.99. So Goodwill thinks it's something valuable. It does have a vintage look and an older look to it, and I'm thinking about it, but I'm not sure. I put it in my cart to look it up later, which I do. Then I am on to the next thing, which happens to be this pretty piece of what I thought might be a chintz sugar bowl, but when I pulled it out, it is a lidded cup of some kind. There are some chips on it, and it strikes me as something that might be made in China rather than a good piece of British chintz or English chintz, which is what I was kind of hoping for when I picked it up. This box caught my eye. It looks a little bit older, the box itself, and then reading it, it says ice box. Well, that's definitely early 20th century, right? Something like that. And I opened it up to pull out a little wooden ice box. So we're talking about probably something made in, I'm going to guess, the 1960s or 70s, maybe even later, recalling the earlier era of ice boxes. And so I decided that's cool, and I'm going to take it with me. Here we have a turtle dove, a boxed turtle dove by Andrea Sadek. I do like things made by Andrea Sadek, although they don't always bring super high prices. I'm going to put that in my cart and think about it. And there is another one, a different bird. It's a partridge. I think we've got a Christmas theme going here. And they're both going to sit in my cart while I think about those for a bit. A few shelves away, I noticed this on the top shelf there, or the higher shelf. It is hand painted. It is really nicely done. It's a farm scene, detailed, with a lot of lovely brush strokes and colors, and it is signed. And I think these are bag holders. They're meant to be hung on the wall, and you put your plastic bags in them at the top, and you can draw them out one at a time in the bottom. And I think the painting is so lovely. I'm going to take that with me. I noticed this piece here and pull it down to take a look at it. It's got kind of a cork bottom and casing, and it's an ashtray. So as an ashtray, I'm thinking it's got a little bit of age. The design is a kind of nautical design. It's got a directional wheel on the inside, and I thought that was a kind of cool piece. Over here we also have a wooden sailboat, so maybe someone's nautical collection got dropped off at Goodwill. I like the design of this boat. It's a little bit lightweight though. It's a little bit, I'm thinking more of maybe a souvenir piece from an island or something. Down here we have a shorebird that I'm putting something on. And then this is a piece of hand stitching, which I thought was very cute. It's got rulers around it and a couple of school kids. The back doesn't look too old, but it does seem to have a little bit of age, the actual stitching. Another day I might have picked it up, but today I decided to leave that behind, although it is a nice handmade item. Here's that shorebird that earlier I balanced something on. So again, we've got sailboats and nautical wheels and shorebirds. On these shelves at this store, I often find wooden items that are interesting and unusual. So I'm scanning for something that catches my eye made out of wood, and I do see this. This is a little plaque with what appears to be a pewter or metal design on it, a disc that is embossed, and it seems to be strawberries there. That looks like a pineapple. This one strawberry, and there's one more, and I'm not sure what that fruit is. Maybe a pear. Anyway, it's a set of wall plaques with the wood and the metal. I think it is vintage, and those are kind of a nice set. I do like the fruit theme, the botanicals, so I am going to put those in my cart. We're in an area that has a lot of china sets and servingware, and this is a pretty pink depression glass cup and saucer, kind of a set of that pattern right there. And then scanning the shelves, I noticed this plate and I pull it out and I'm so excited. It's an oyster plate. Finding an oyster plate has been on my bucket list for some time. I know some oyster plates are very, very collectible. This one has a nice heavy feel. It's got this pink outer part to it and clear glass on the inner. I think it's vintage, and I am excited to put it in my cart. So yay, check that item off my bucket list. Here's another nice plate. This has a nice heavy pattern. It's quite elegant, actually. I wish I had spent a little more time looking that one up because I really do like that plate. This one has a nice fruit design on it. It's a single. Some more botanicals here. That is Mikasa. I thought this might be fused glass, but I think it's actually reverse painted. So look what I almost left behind on this shelf. This is a piece of Frankoma pottery, just hiding out there among the other dishes. It's got a rooster on it. It's got a lovely white glaze, and it is vintage. That is definitely going to come home with me. I do collect Frankoma. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or sell it. Happy to find it though. We've got some milk glass here. This is Anchor Hawking, a wheat sheaf pattern on it. We've got a heavily patterned piece of pressed glass there, also probably vintage. Thought this was maybe a little bit heavier of a piece of ceramic, but it's an ashtray, but it's a little lightweight. So, oh, what have we here? Well, I think this is super cool. This is like a cornucopia, and it is pressed glass and $4.99. I haven't run across this before. This is so cool. I like that it's heavily patterned. It's got a little notch there so that you can hang it. So maybe it's for hanging on the wall, but it's unusual and cool, and it's coming home with me for sure. Got a fun cow, ceramic cow bag. It's made in the USA. It looks vintage, and the design is super fun. It's kind of a morose looking cow, but down here I noticed this, what looked like yellow depression glass. Pulling it out, it is a piece of federal glass. This is the Patrician pattern, and this is a plate I have picked up before and gifted to my friend who collects yellow depression glass, and that's where this one is going. So happy to find it. I'm in the kitchen-y area, and I noticed this bowl with a really pretty floral pattern. That style struck me as something familiar, and as you can see as I got closer, that is the initials MB for Marjolein Bastin. I do really like her work, and so this is a cereal bowl that is she designed, and that is going to go into my cart. Then I noticed this wooden spoon, and the thing that just drew me to it was it has a couple pieces of live edge wood on them, which is pretty unusual. So on the handle you can see kind of the live edge there, and I decide this is an unusual enough wooden spoon that if I decide not to sell it, I will definitely use that myself. I do like cool wooden spoons, so that's coming with me. Here we've got what looked to be some pink depression glass, potentially another piece of pink optic glass here. I do like that pattern, but I am going to probably leave them both behind, especially since that one is priced at $9.99. But pretty cool. I'm happy with my yellow depression glass. I like the floral patterns on those cups. It's sort of panning to see what else catches my eye. This does. This is a covered pie plate. I like the 3D apples on the lid. I like the design is just fun. It is made in Portugal, and they're asking $12.99 for it. Definitely has some age. I think I would guess it's 1980s, 1990s, 1990s probably more. And down here we've got a rooster plate, hand-painted rooster plate. That is by Sakura. I like the hand painting there. Here, I thought this might be restaurant wear, but it is not. So I move on, and here we've got, this is kind of nice. We've got a snack plate and cup set there in the box, vintage. Those are very plentiful though. This store keeps their Christmas sort of on the back shelves, and I was thinking I was going to even stop and look, but then I saw this box and saw it was a Waterford box, so I had to look. And here we have a Christmas plate. This one is looks like a partridge with some holly leaves around it. Christmas 1989. And they've got it priced up at, I think this is at $10, right? So, that's pretty steep, but it's Waterford, and I feel like I'm gonna take it with me. Cart review time. Here we go. I have some cool things to look at here. I like these pewter and wood vintage wall plaques with the fruit motifs. I think these are a fun set, and they are only $1.99 each. So yeah, that was a nice pickup. Then we have this hand-painted bag dispenser. The painting is really very, very nice and signed, so that is a fun pickup. The little miniature ice box that someone can use for a dollhouse. Then we've got I think this is an incense holder. It is vintage. It's got actually food dogs on it, but the gilding is a little bit worn. We've got a nice box designed by Susan Winget with the magnetic closure. Here we've got a Marjolein Bastin cereal bowl for only 99 cents. Definitely happy with that. Frankoma Rooster trivet. Super collectible, especially for me as a collector. Got the wooden spoon. We've got the lovely EAPG antique cornucopia made out of pressed glass. So cool. Here's that beautiful oyster plate by L.E. Smith. It is vintage and it is super cool, and I've been looking for an oyster plate forever. And here we have the yellow depression glass for my friend, and the Waterford crystal, the Christmas plate collectible. Those will still sell. Paid up for it just because it's Waterford, it's gonna sell. So there you have it. There's our cart. Nice haul.
What? I am so excited. I got to check a big check off of something on my bucket list, thrifting wise, which is to find an oyster plate out in the wild. I found an oyster plate out in the wild. It is an L.E. Smith oyster plate. It is not one of the super mega valuable ones, but still, yay. So also that amazing antique glass cornucopia, no damage at all. What? Wow. I had a great time. I am thrilled, and the prices have really come down at this Goodwill for the things that I'm interested in. I'm not sure what happened, but hey, thank you, Mukwonago Goodwill. Had a great time thrifting. Hope you had fun with me too. Like my channel, subscribe, and come back. We will definitely do this again. Thrift on!